Breaking news, welcome back to the channel. It is conference realignment season. Pac-12 is making moves. They are poaching the best of the Mountain West. They're taking Colorado State, Boise State, Fresno, San Diego State. Now the question is, what's next? We have Brett McMurphy from Twitter. He says that the Pac-12 still need at least 2 teams to make it back into like a minimum requirement for an FBS conference. And, you know, we can make it, we can try to claim that it's a Power 5, so we go back to the Power 5 conferences. They need at least 8 schools. He says the Mountain West will receive at least $111 million in exit fees from the departing Mountain West schools, which will then be offset by some of the Pac-12 monies from the teams that left, and then all that extra media right money and all that stuff. Also, there could be an additional fees, because especially if they want to have them by next year, 2026, could be additional years if it's only a 1-year notice. So if they want them next year, then a little additional fees, but it'd probably be more like 2026, maybe next year, depending on how much money they have and who they decide to poach from different teams. I'm gonna move on to the map to see which teams potentially could be those final 2 teams, and maybe even potentially more teams that have opportunities to join their conference to make it a better conference. So on this map, we can see that there's currently only 2 teams. We got Washington State, Oregon State up in the corner on the West Coast. Then we add the new teams that are going to join the team. We have mostly on the West Coast. We have 2 in California, 1 in Colorado, 1 in Idaho. As you can see, it's pretty nice. But the problem is, if they add 2 more teams, there's no other 2 teams in this side of the coastline without just making your conference just another group of 5 team. So we need to bolster the conference up to become higher status, more elite. So I have made my prediction, my wish list for this conference. I've added 6 new teams instead of the 2. So now it's a 12 team, and now you can have 2 conferences. You can see that I've added UTSA, Tulane, Memphis, JMU, Liberty, Toledo. This way, the West Coast teams can still play each other. Travel expenses are decreased because you don't want all of your 2 new teams to be on the East Coast, because then your travels are really expensive. We can look at Stanford and Cal, for example. They're spending tons of money on travel to the ACC, other side of the country. So if you make 2 conferences, you have 6 on each side. You can have 2 to 3 games a year where you flip-flop, so you can like play other teams in that side. So then have a red line straight down, so 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. Really nice, really seamless. And I chose these teams because they are all really good right now. And really good right now is good because if you put them in a better conference, they can still continuously be good. So Tulane, always good team. I don't know if they're probably not going to leave their conference. I don't know why they wouldn't. Maybe they're looking for a better conference to join and not the Pac-12. But UTSA would be a good choice. They had a good year last year. Maybe not this year, but they had a good year last year. Memphis is pretty consistently good. Toledo is pretty consistently good. In retrospect to their conference, they're usually getting around 10, 11 wins. JMU and Liberty were really good last year, and I think that they are going to be pretty good programs moving forward. You can trade some of these teams out. Right here, we got South Florida. They're pretty good. They keep up with Alabama for some reason, but they're pretty good overall. New Mexico State is pretty good. The problem with New Mexico State is then you're adding another West Coast team, and then it kind of just like hinders the ability of what you are. And New Mexico State's very inconsistent. They were good last year, but I don't know, they weren't good previous years. Miami Redhawks is a fairly decent team, pretty good schedule. Northern Illinois is another one. They just beat Notre Dame, could potentially be up there, and they're still on that East Coast, east of the Mississippi. For Pac-12's future, I think they should not stop at 8. They should go for the 12, try to poach all of these good teams, because then now you can make an argument that we have the best group of 5 teams, and we can pretty much consider us a Power 5 conference, like a Power 4, Power 5 conference. And yeah, because Colorado State, you know, they're hit and miss. They're not the best pickup, but there's something better. You can't have every team in your conference be the best of the best. But Boise State has shown really good potential. San Diego State, Fresno State, also really good potential. And I think that the teams that I've chosen for the next slate on the East Coast are really good. Liberty, JMU, Toledo, Memphis, Tulane, and UTSA. I hope that they don't poach any more Mountain West teams, because I looked at the Mountain West lineup, and there's nothing there for them that could be good. Maybe pick up New Mexico State from a different conference to make it closer, but I still think that they should expand to the East Coast, because that was one of their biggest problems with media rights. If they're doing a late night game, their game starts at 7. East Coast, it's freaking 10 o'clock. No one's watching that game. Media didn't wasn't really up to snuff there. I know there was a lot of mistakes in the back end offense, but I still think that you should expand your teams all the way across the country, just like every other conference is doing, so you don't become irrelevant. And maybe you can add South Florida instead of UTSA or instead of Tulane, because I don't know if Tulane's going to want to join the Pac-12. They might join a different Power 5 conference. But you put South Florida in the Florida, then now you have the Florida market. But that's going to be it for this video. Please stay tuned for more conference realignment. They're going to have more updates coming soon. Peace.